Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and thank you for joining another scene for Living World of Darkness, Changeling, and Werewolf venue so far. Our scene starts off this evening with Caldwell kind of buttoning up the shop for the night. He doesn't lock the door or turn off the sign, but he actually goes about just doing the rest of the chores that go with just making sure the shop is ready for the next day. So washing dishes, putting books back on the shelf, rearranging chairs in case anybody moved them, stuff like that, typical things. Um, but when he's done all that, he just kind of sits behind the counter with his laptop open. It's a rather old laptop. It's a brick. It's been joked at a couple of times, or a few times, a lot of times. But he's just sitting there enjoying an evening cup of tea, just to kind of like just tone down the evening and kind of get ready to go into just relaxing and kind of just enjoying the evening to himself.
And here to ruin that is Bailey. She peers through like I'm going to assume there's like a window on the door.
Oh yeah, so let me explain how I envision the shop.
Okay.
So it's in Queens. It's at the end of a business district, but the far end that looks a little shady. It's rather dark. It's not really much light. There's probably just one street lamp. I would assume that just kind of gives light like over the door itself. There is a like a ritual tea sign that's like the neon, I would assume. Um, just kind of in the window. You really can't see through the window. Honestly, it's covered in like very uh, thick curtain, like Victorian-esque curtains and fabric.
Mhm.
Um, but when it doesn't appear, but you can still see light. So it
Mhm.
doesn't seem like it's closed or anything like that. And the sign is definitely still on. So if she just so happens to maybe like open the door or
Yeah.
try to come in, there wouldn't be any kind of resistance there.
Oh, good. So yeah, Bailey will open the door slowly, peer her head in. Hello.
And once you hear that, Caldwell kind of just like winces and just closes his eyes and sets the teacup down on the table. And he gets up, kind of leaning over the counter, and kind of peers towards the door and holds his hand up, kind of waving, just with his finger up, saying, kind of like one moment. Um, he doesn't yell or anything, or he doesn't even say anything at all.
Mhm.
He just kind of quietly walks over, and yeah, what Bailey sees actually is that this establishment is actually filled with what looks to be like a thrift shop's like wet dream.
Mhm.
Um, everything in here is old, threadbare. Like the leather couches that are here, the leather on it's kind of worn and cracked, but they still look rather plush and comfortable to sit in.
Mhm.
The stitching on them and then the couches and stuff are just kind of fraying. There's some there looks to be like remnants of like maybe old stains that kind of been um, dry cleaned out or washed out, but just never really just shown more with its age.
Mhm.
There's a lot of like copper and silver around um, that looks either not fully polished or even might even have remnants of it might maybe being fake.
Mhm.
Um, but it's in the essence of like candelabras and or old like tall lamps and such. There's a bunch of pictures around everywhere on the wall, taking up space, and it's just of random like images and just of like maybe like countrysides or like really old, just weird like knockoff paintings. Um, there is a on the right hand side is a long bookshelf with rather um, really. with really no direction as far as like the kind of collection. It just seems like a rather weird mix of books.
Hmm.
Um, and deeper inside, um, everything just looks kind of cozy. There's a lot of rugs on the floor. Even the door, or excuse me, the door itself when you open it really squeaks, like squeals almost like if it's in pain. Like somebody who has like an old man who has like back pain, just like when you when he tried to get up from off the ground or something. Which has conveniently replaced the doorbell. And even stepping in, the floor seems to like you're not sure if it's because the floor is weak or it's just there's just so many rugs and they're just really soft for some reason. But it almost seems like it kind of convexes a little bit, like it just from when you walk in, maybe because the floor is old, or it might be the wood that it's over. And then on the roof, like on the ceiling, is cobwebs and stuff here and there. It doesn't look like it was fully dusted out or
Hmm.
cleaned out. Um, but that said, Caldwell does approach, and he actually looks kind of surprised. Well, for one, he didn't expect anybody else to kind of show up for the evening, even though he should have known better, knowing just from the streak of things have been going with him keeping the shop open late.
Hmm.
But also because he just seems generally surprised to probably see you. Um, and when he comes up to you, he stands rather close, and just leans in and just says, with his very light whisper and English accent, and he just says, "Ah, Bailey, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you for some time. You care for that tour I promised you?"
Yeah, sure. You gonna show me your skeletal sconces?
Yeah, come inside and I'll show them to you. And he kind of like steps to the side and opens his arm out to kind of like say, after you. And he closes the door behind her. And
Hmm.
again, it does that squealing, that moan again,
Hmm.
until it closes heavily behind them. And he just kind of walks up alongside her. Again, it's rather close. It's almost as if he's attached to her, like let's say Bailey's own shadow. That's how close he is to her. Um,
Hmm.
and he says, "Right this way." And he just says, pointing to the bookshelf, "This is Exhibit A. It is a bookshelf. No sconces, as you can see. At least not any skeletal ones."
Well, I'm a little disappointed at this. I was expecting something a little more sinister. She'll look over at the books, though. Is there anything interesting on there? Is it just like old books in a foreign language or something?
Um, there's a lot of like secondhand and third hand books.
Hmm.
A lot of them have contained just like regular old stories that people tend to find popular.
Hmm.
There's others on there that are probably written some other languages, but um, they don't seem to. The bookshelf itself just doesn't seem to convey any kind of rhyme or reason as to what they're collecting. But there is a lot of like just your regular kind of run of the mill like books that you can easily identify or point out that people tend to own.
Hmm.
It's just the ones you kind of find at like a bookstore or a thrift shop, and they just they tend to be the ones people tend to keep because they're just popular by the culture.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, like nothing, none of them seems to be in any kind of perfect condition or anything like that. There's just a lot of that though. There is some poetry though. There's some mix of poetry. A lot of Edgar Allan Poe, probably his own collection and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
just because he found it interesting at the time. But it's just rather eclectic mix. But he just says, "Yeah, it's just to be honest with you, I really don't have any skeletal sconces."
Oh, well, That's good. I'd feel a little uncomfortable if I was like if I would actually step in here and see, co-opsy bits.
No, I don't do anything sinister of that sort. I promise you that. I do carry quite a bit of knives, but other than that, mm, that's probably the only thing you might find unsettling. But I tend to hide them in good places. So, um, yeah, I um I lost track of my frame of thought. Excuse me.
Uh,
Do you want some tea though?
sure. Uh, iced wedge of lemon, that kind of thing, or is it something fancy smancy? Because honestly, you said tea shop. I was expecting something a little more bougie. I mean, you do have a sort of antiquities feel going on here, little Adams family esque.
Hmm.
But I was expecting to come in here and like the smell of like dried out rose petals or something. Oolong. That's a tea, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have the bastardized version of tea, which is what you're referring to. I can make you some, but I won't be happy about it.
Oh, well, I would hate to make you unhappy then. Please educate this pleb about the non bastardized version of tea.
And he just smiles and he kind of waves over to the counter where he's following or he's quietly shuffling over there too. And the floorboards again tend to squeal ever so slightly as he walks, um,
Mhm.
moan every now and then. Um, but he rounds the table and just out of reflex brings his hand to close the laptop and goes about setting the kettle up to receive tea or at least clean water and such. And he just waits for her to kind of get closer so he can talk to her because obviously
Mhm.
she's not going to hear him from any kind of reasonable distance.
Well, I mean, she could try, but it would probably it probably wouldn't be very subtle.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she'll get closer and have a seat as she watches the ceremony of prepping a kettle for tea.
Yeah. Okay. So um, it's definitely a process, at least for him.
Hmm.
He definitely likes to go about taking his time and putting a lot of effort into it. You can see.
Hmm.
He goes about making her a loose leaf like oolong tea, um, as per kind of like what she requested. Well, roundaboutly requested.
Just
Um,
sort of mentioned it because she's heard it and thought it was a funny word.
yeah. And yeah. And once that is done, he sets it before her on a nice small teacup with a little saucer, and sets up the rest of the kettle or the tea that's already or in the pot, excuse me, and the right beside it as well, so she can basically have a full pot of tea.
That is that is a lot of hot tea for somebody. But yeah, she'll like I guess wait for it to steep.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's just give it about 4 minutes. It should be okay.
Okay.
Any longer, you might let it it would kind of ruin the taste, be too um, rich. And
Are we in a
yeah,
dice roller, by the way?
yeah. I've been doing Changeling Dice Roller one, but we'll have
Yeah,
to switch.
we'll switch to because yeah, Lupu doesn't have access to that.
God dang it! I'm just kidding.
He should be
Oh,
playing a in change.
extra Extra dice roller. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, we're in extra dice roller one.
All right. Scones and sconces. It's fantastic. So Bailey will like sip at the tea because she hasn't added sugar or anything to it. She's just gonna be like, so this is what the fancy hoity-toits drink, or what?
Hmm, not particularly. That's not the traditional tea, but
Oh,
that's what
what's
you said, so I figured that's what you were most familiar with. That's why I offered it to you. Well, made it for you. Do you want some more traditional tea?
I mean, you know tea. I know iced tea.
I'll tell you what. I'll just make you some iced tea. How about that? And I will drink that later.
Okay, thanks. She tries to inoffensively just kind of push away the unsweetened hot tea away from her.
Yeah. He could hear that. Probably pretty well. But he's like, he doesn't really, it doesn't really bother him, so to speak. He'll just drink it later once it actually cools down
Mhm.
and probably just oversteeps because Slua.
Yeah.
But but yeah, he goes about fixing up her some more traditional tea. It's a cold brew, so it doesn't have to wait to get cooled or cool off for her to drink it. And he sets some sugar cubes next to her um,
Mhm.
and some diced up lemon, just so she can add it herself and so he can take stock to see how much sugar she actually likes.
She probably throws in like an obscene amount of sugar. Just to the point where there's like that sludginess at the bottom as she
Hmm.
stirs. Yeah. Okay, so see, this is what I'm used to.
Let's see. You put in enough to put in a nice thick layer of sugar at the bottom. From my experience, it's okay. I know somebody else who pretty much does the same thing, though they prefer their tea to taste like soda, Coke. Yeah.
Then why not just drink soda?
Well, that's all I serve here is tea, so
Mm.
I try to give the customers what they want when they come. So if I could make it, I usually try. Get it as close as I can. I can't promise anything. Don't promise anything. But
Okay, I was looking at somebody's nightmare roll. Oof, you're having a rough day. It's, um, um, and she'll drink her tea, and since it's cold sweet tea, she'll enjoy it more. So, what's the weirdest order you've ever gotten, or is this like some sort of like tea make a patient confidentiality in play here?
Nothing like that. Um, I got the request for something really earthy, almost fish-like, if that makes sense.
Gross.
Hmm, it didn't taste so bad. It was actually fun to make. It was a rather awkward request, but it was fun to figure it out and offer that to him. He seemed to like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with gross on that one. I'd be hard pressed to think otherwise.
That's understandable. Though if it was made and put before you, would you try it anyways?
I mean, I've had worse, I'm sure, but if somebody were to put it in front of me and then ask me to pay for it, I might have objections.
Fair enough. So what's the grossest thing you've ever partaken of?
Uh, 3 week old pizza.
Hmm, that's not bad. I've had that before. It's not as it's not as soft as I would like it to be or would expect it to be, but it's more like eating like greasy paper in a sense. Well, uh,
It's the
cardboard.
mold that gets to you. It's really hard to kind of like work that around the old taste buds, you know?
Mm. A little mold doesn't hurt anybody.
Hmm. I think it hits some, probably.
Well, maybe, but teach their own, I guess. So, anything new for you since I seen you at Vixen?
She gives like a pause. There is a definite answer to that, but she's not going into it. Nah, same old, same old.
Hmm. Well, that's interesting. You seem
What
like you
about
would get
you?
it. You seem like you would get in a lot of trouble.
I mean, I get into trouble, I get out of trouble. If it's a daily occurrence, it's hardly news.
That's fair. As far as I go, nothing too in particular. Went to a concert for the first time, not too long ago.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah?
yeah, it's pretty fun. Not my kind of music, but I was there for a friend, and I think that's all that matters.
Oh, well, that's nice. So, who was it?
It was for a singer named Alice Amari. Um, she had that concert. I forgot where it was at. Um, but she does a lot of anime type songs, if that makes sense. Cutesy, really lollipop-ish almost. There's some
Ugh,
dark elements to it as well, but I tend to like those a little bit more. But it was really bright and colorful though. That was interesting, but it just seemed all over the place as well.
nah. Give me the classics any day. Brownsville Station, Credence Clearwater Revival, mm, something along those lines. I ain't got time to watch no cartoons singing and dancing on the stage.
Fair enough. It was an experience though, I will say that.
At that moment, I'm guessing you hear the door because I don't know
Yeah.
how this place is set up.
Oh man. Okay. So, the tea shop is in Queens, right? And it's at the end of a really seedy, like almost abandoned looking, like just business strip. Okay. Um,
Glorious.
um, there's a sign. There's like one like lamp post that just shines light on the door. So people can see the actual entrance to the building. Um, and there's a like a neon light that that says ritual tea on it that kind of just goes in and out. When you open the door, it moans loudly, like it just needs a lot of grease. um, and on the inside, you see what looks to be like what looks to be like somebody had like won a shopping spree at like a thrift store. Nothing in here is new, um, by any means. There's a lot of couches and chairs that where like the leather on the couches are fading and cracking. The chairs are kind of threadbare and even hold like old stains. The floor is covered in a lot of old rugs. And you notice like even when you step in, like it almost seems like the your feet kind of give way a little bit, like stepping in sand or something, or the wood bends. And the wood even creaks just the slightest bit, or the floor does. Um, there a wall of books on your right hand side, and just a wide arrangement, a wide arrayment of seating as you go deeper inside. On the walls, it's covered in a lot of old pictures with like really like old like frames that either are chipped or stained. There's a lot of copper and even like silver in here, but it's more in the framework of like candelabras or candlestick holders, even like old like metal like lampshades and stuff, or lamps, tall lamps, excuse me. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much about it. There is like a phonograph behind him as well that looks like it plays like old records and stuff. Yeah, it looks very. It's supposed to be very eclectic and kind of just a lot of just overload of like antiques. But it's also supposed to be like very comforting, almost sticky in a sense.
Okay, I got it. So it looks very Victorian shabby.
Yeah, there you go. I said a lot for just to say that. Yeah. Um, but once he hears the door open, he'll look to Bailey and just kind of give her like like a one moment please kind of motion with his hand, and he will quietly walk over to you. And you just see this very tall, very reedy looking man. He looks rather tired. He has dark bags under his eyes, um, and he just kind of almost walks a little bit off to you. Um, it's really hard to explain how slow a walk without it being without, at least to me it is. But yeah, he just seems to move with like like an almost an unnatural fashion to him. Um, but he when he walks up to you, he's very close to you. Probably a little too close for it to be, he's most likely invading your personal space. And he just kind of whispers. He has a very English accent, like he probably just came here to visit as a tourist. Um, as far as how thick it is, um, and he just says, "Ah, good evening. You come in for some tea?"
Yeah, fair enough. So I'll give you a brief description of the guy you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably close to 6 feet tall. He has a very, like you can see him in the picture, very
Mm-hmm.
disheveled look about him. He wears this very, very high quality suit, but he looks very disheveled. Like he's got his a few buttons popped, his tie is crooked and loosened. Has a more than a 5 o'clock shadow. It's almost a stubble at this point. Dark bags under his eyes, his hair's going everywhere. He's
Mm-hmm.
got. I think the only distinctive feature you could see is, first of all, he looks kind of menacing. Kind of. There's a threatening air about him. It's just, with some people, they
Mm-hmm.
just look scary. Um, Probably late 20s, early 30s, even though he's got a lot of gray hairs in his beard. And the only distinctive feature you notice is the fact that in his shirt pocket, there's like this little white rosebud. Takes a second before answering, just takes a second to even notice you. And says, "Yeah, think some tea would work."
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I think some tea would work.
Oh, and yeah. So he notices everything that you have described about yourself, but he seems to not like. He doesn't even seem to look you in the eye, and or in the eyes at all. He just seems to kind of avoid eye contact with you at all times. Um, especially when he's speaking to you directly. It's almost as if he's looking at like a button on your shirt. Um, and he brings his hands before him, and he just seems to just run his thumbs over each of his fingers and just cracks them loudly. Like it's a little unsettling. It's not something you would hear, at least I would think, from a like a regular person. Uh, but he once he kind of hears that, and he just turns and kind of gives a man a wave with his hand, and says, "Just follow me. I hope you don't mind sitting at the counter with the rest of us."
No problem.
Sitting at the counter in her trying to look posh outfit here is Bailey.
Kolya gives her a bit of a crooked look, of a weird look. Like everything about his face just screams, really. And yeah, he
Hey, Nikki.
didn't. Bailey.
Long time no see. How you doing?
Had a rough night. Just need some tea, some quiet.
Oh well, yeah, good for both of these here. This gentleman here seems very soft spoken, and he makes all sorts of fancy stuff.
Yes, I do. Please have a seat. And you can probably just barely hear him. Like he whispers, and it's it's kind of upsetting and pathetic, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he sits at the counter with no form of grace or poise or elegance, just puts his elbows on the counter, grabs his temples.
So you said you want something to calm you down?
Know exactly what I want. I'm really curious to see how you make it something, a little something to remind me back home.
Hmm.
I want your best Russian black tea. I'm guessing in such a looks to the side, an elegant establishment you've got here. You might have a samovar lying around. Also, if you have any cane sugar or brown sugar and some orange zest in it, and I'm willing to pay however much you want for it. Please spike it with something strong.
Find it was something strong. Unfortunately, I don't have any alcohol here.
Hopeful look towards Bailey.
Let me see. She'll rummage through her bag. Ain't got anything real strong. I got a warm beer. You want warm beer?
You get the most the fuck look ever.
Caldwell just like plants both of his hands on his face and just kind of rubs his temples, like, and you could just see like the skin just kind of like loosely like follow his hands as he kind of like moves them in small circles, and he just says, "I'm gonna have to get a liquor license. Everybody here wants alcohol with their tea." So I apologize. I don't have any tonight, but I'll try to have some soon. But I can try to give you what you asked for if you give me a chance. I do a lot of loose leaf teas, a lot of custom teas, and I should be able to give you at least something similar to what you are wanting. Is that okay?
Surprise me.
Okie doke.
The thing you're gonna notice about him is also he has not a thick but a noticeable Eastern European Russian accent, which I can't keep up because if I force myself to do it, I sound like a cartoon character.
Yeah, that's fair. So he will go about doing the whole tea thing. The player doesn't know exactly how all that works, but Caldwell does. Um, so he does take some time. He looks like he's definitely putting in effort into trying to get it to exact specifications that you asked for. Being what what equates to Russian black tea, with cane sugar, brown sugar, and lemon or orange zest. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So you kind of see him run into the kitchen every now and then, grabbing things. Well, he doesn't run. He kind of more like shuffles, like very languidly. Uh,
Slides.
yeah, pretty much.
Oozes.
And yeah, that is, yeah. I'm just kind of oozes in and out of the kitchen, just kind of muttering little things to himself while he does this. Though, in case you guys just want to exchange some words while he does this.
Bailey reaches into her bag and slides over a slightly dented and warm can of like Pabst Blue Ribbon towards Nikki. Just in case, you find yourself thirsty.
Puts the fingers on the counter next to the can and just like slowly pushes it towards Bailey. Nah, I'm good.
No, I insist.
Reaches into his inside pocket, pulls out the small hip flask, puts it on the counter.
So then why all the show about asking me for something? You know I ain't got shit half the time.
Fuck knows what you store in that bag of yours.
Mostly rusty shit. And a couple of tools.
If the booze is strong enough, rust just adds to the flavor.
Who knows? You haven't even tried the warm Pabst.
I've got faster and more efficient ways of killing myself than drinking American piss water.
Oh well, la-di-da.
He gestures with his gestures towards the kitchen. Is he a friend of yours?
I met him before. He seems like a nice enough guy. Kind of a twisted sense of humor. I can appreciate that.
I can't decide whether he's creepy because he's British or he's British because he's creepy. But he seems like a nice guy.
Honestly, I don't know a lot of people from the UK, so I don't have any basis of comparison to work from. Are they also soft spoken?
Not the ones I met.
Hmm.
I'm guessing the ones that actually afforded an education don't shout as much, especially indoors.
Hmm.
I just wanted to roll to make sure he heard all that. Even while he's in the kitchen. So he got one success, so I'm assuming he kind of catches things here and there. So,
Mhm.
but
Kolya's not making any effort to hide.
I mean, it's fine. I just, you never know. He could fail and not hear anything. But yeah, he comes out and he looks like he actually has this tea on like a nice silver tray. Um, there's and nice china to kind of match it. It's probably like his best that he has. And he sets it before you, and he has the arrangement with like the small pot, like the saucer with the cup, and then there's a little little cup of zest, brown sugar, and cane sugar, just in case you want it more. But he sets it before you and slides it um, closer to your side of the counter, and just says, I believe this is the best I can do, at least for making it the first time. So if it's not exactly to your liking, let me know, and I'll make sure to try to perfect it, especially if you come back.
He just lifts the top of the teapot and looks at the color. Takes in a bit of a whiff.
Enjoy that one success, Black Russian tea.
Theoretically, both in character and out of character, I know that tea is meant to be steeped. But this is a very pissed off Russian man you have in your shop, so he's just gonna pour himself a cup. But there's a bit of art, a bit of poetry in the way he puts in just a dash of cane sugar, just a dash of orange rind in it. Like stirs it very slowly, like 3 or 4 times. Takes a
So,
very big mouthful of it, even though it's probably extraordinarily hot. Doesn't even fucking flinch.
so with the art and poetry behind his like transfer of like sugar and all that stuff, like it garners his interest quite a bit. He seems to watch you um with a certain bit of intensity. But then again, like I said, he definitely seems like he's not. When I say intensity, it's just more like he's interested, not like in any other like intimidating fashion. He's almost like just kind of like a little bit transfixed because he's never seen anybody kind of go at it that way before. Um, and he can kind of appreciate that considering who he is.
Yeah. The moment he puts his cup down, his eyes like widen and like glare for split second. Yes.
And you just see him kind of like slowly rise because he's like he's transferring his weight to like the balls of his feet, kind of like waiting for you to say something. Like, is it bad? Is it good? What?
He looks at Caldwell, then looks at Bailey, just like says, "Should I be nice or should I be honest?"
Oh, Jesus, Nikki.
Well, if I have a say, I would prefer you to be honest.
Your cane sugar is very good. A bit too refined for my taste, but very good nonetheless. Your water is a bit hard, a bit calcareous, but I'm guessing you could let it rest before you use it the night before to let all impurities settle to the bottom before you use it. The orange rind is pretty good and pretty fresh, though I suggest changing your supplier. Uh, the temperature is ideal. And your black tea variety is absolutely superb. It is, all in all, a very good cup of tea. He grabs his hip flask, twists it open, just puts like 2 dashes of a brownish liquid, which could be rum, could be whiskey, could be. I don't think that anybody of you could just tell by looking at 2 splashes. And he just like moves the teaspoon again, takes another little sip, and now it's perfect.
So yeah, he kind of makes a mental checklist as you say these things to keep it in mind for when he goes about reordering and supplying. But he just says, "Interesting. I never would have found you as a connoisseur of tea. You seem to know quite a bit. I am glad to meet you. I'm Caldwell."
Extends his hand to My name's Nikolai. My friends call me Kolya.
And I call him Nikki.
And he extends his hand, and when he gives it to you, it's almost as if you might as well be like squeezing a feather. He doesn't put any kind of strength in his grip at all. But in your hand, it kind of feels like bones, like in a popped balloon.
Oof. That's tough. and that's graphic. But anyhow, no.
If you could just imagine, yeah. Anyways, I'm really surprised I came up with that. But yeah.
No, Kolya gives you a manly handshake, a firm handshake, not to assert dominance or anything. It's just like the way he shakes hands.
Definitely. So it seems that you two know each other.
We go to the same gym.
And here I thought this was going to be another park story or something interesting.
Nah.
Well, I'm glad to know that's not the case.
You never know it by looking at him, but Nicky here, he's quite the aerobics aficionado.
That might explain why he seems so disheveled coming from the gym then, I guess.
Rough night, hard day at work. Didn't have time to go to the gym.
I certainly know that feel. It's been a rough few months for me as well. I haven't been sleeping myself.
We tried, like, I don't know, new pillow or something. When's the last time you changed your mattress?
I don't know. Well, I moved here about 3 months ago, so I had to get new furniture and such. The mattress I got was from a thrift store, so I don't know. But I do like to flip the pillow over to the cold side before laying my head down, if that counts.
Have you ever considered, like, maybe instead of participating in caffeinated beverages, a nice, I don't know, sleepy time tea or something? Is there what's in sleepy time tea? I've seen the boxes at stores. I have no idea what it is.
Lavender, valerian, poppy, or chamomile with honey. It will put you right out.
There you go. Nikki's got your back.
Where would I be without Nikki? Thank you. I'll definitely try that this evening.
The moment he refers to him as Nikki.
Oops, sorry, it just kind of came out that way.
If he calls him Nikki, he's gonna get the stare down from hell.
And then chuckle from the side.
And you kind of see him take a few steps back, and again he brings his hands like under the counter, and you just hear like these loud popping sounds again. And he just looks like a kid that been put in timeout a little bit. Just that kind of like pouty stance. And
actually, Mrs. ST.
What?
How would our little Slua perceive 3 dots of rage?
Supernatural creatures typically don't have a visceral reaction to rage unless they are of like the hunter variety. So they're played as generally oblivious, but
two, not three. Sorry, two, not three.
Yeah, but so they just generally don't have that sort of like fear. Like,
fair enough.
They may notice that you seem a little angrier than most people. So
fair enough. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And he just says, excuse me. I seem to have a breach of etiquette. I apologize. Kolya, would you prefer, right?
Yeah. And
Oh,
just
and
some people don't like to remember.
he
Look.
kind of just looks to Bailey like,
And she just
"Ooh, you did it."
kind of it was like the non-committal head bob. Like, yeah. Sorry, I ain't great with names. You might have to settle for the fact that I remember that it's starts with an N and all. Nicolia, is that how you say it? If you want to participate in formalities, Nicola, how do you say it?
It's either Nikolai or Kolya. If it's too hard to remember, okay, fair enough. Call me Nikki.
All right,
But
Nikki.
don't
I'm glad we can go that way.
don't spread it. Please.
You know why I like talking to you, Nikki? Your general joie de voir, whatever the fuck it is.
I believe it's called joie de vivre.
Huh? Well, you learn something new every day.
So,
So,
what does Kolya mean?
What was that? I didn't get it.
What does Kolya mean? Is it short
It's
for something? Or...
short for Nikolai.
Mm.
My friends and my family call me Kolya. Most of my other gym buddies do too.
well, most of your other gym buddies are kind of intimidated by you, I assume. But if you would prefer me to mispronounce your other nickname, I can do that. Kolya.
Takes another really, really big gulp of that really, really hot tea.
Yeah, truth be told, I just started getting into studying Russian myself. Studying Russian, excuse me. Blah. Plan on taking a trip there eventually.
Got any traveler's tips from your homeland? Kolya?
That's a good point.
Don't act like a tourist. Don't go out at night unless you have to. Stick to the big streets and main attractions. Don't piss off anyone in a tracksuit. And keep
Sorry.
your cash safe.
Mm.
So the real intent's about the gym there as well, I see.
Yeah, you could say we are a very gymnastically prone nation.
I can't say I will follow every bit of advice there, but maybe one or two at least.
Hmm.
Sticking to the daytimes does seem rather boring. Or let us see what the nightlife is about.
Well, you know all about the nightlife. I saw you the other day at Cammy's little friend's bar. That's where I met him. Sorry, Kolya.
Are you familiar with Vixen, Kolya?
I can't say I am.
Well, I can guarantee they have all the spirits you could handle there.
Sounds like a challenge.
Hey, as long as you're paying, I'm sure Amber would appreciate it.
Unfortunately, my liver is stronger than my budget.
Hmm.
How well you know Amber Caldwell?
How well do I know her?
Yeah.
Um, not too well. I've only met her once or twice before that night.
She good people, from what you can tell?
And he kind of like purses his lips and kind of like slowly nods as if he's thinking about it, and then you see him do like a more affirmative nod. He just says, "Yeah, she's treated me well as long as I've known her." Are you worried about your friend? Um, the other girl, I forgot her name.
Cam. Yeah. She's she and I are good friends. I just, gotta vet who she's bringing in real close to her life, that sort of thing. You know how it is, being an overconcerned friend.
I understand. I don't think you would have to worry anything about Amber as far as that goes. But then again, people have a propensity to change on you every once in a while, but she doesn't seem like that type.
Hmm. Well, whatever
Well,
type she is, as long as she doesn't end up causing Camille undue misery, you know?
I
Kolya
certainly hope
just
not.
stares at Bailey.
Bailey gives like a look of just like, I will talk to you in a minute. I will talk to you when we are the only ones in the room kind of look. Um, so she like finishes off the rest of her tea. You got any more in like this?
Sure. Just give me a moment.
Mhm.
And he gets up, or he walks into the kitchen,
Just like
and goes
perks
up.
his neck a little at Bailey's tray. What you
Yeah,
drinking there?
iced tea. Um, this, and she points to the like discarded, pushed aside and probably cooling uh, teapot of oolong. uh, this wasn't for me. Too fancy for my taste buds.
I always thought you more kind of a gunpowder tea girl.
I didn't realize that people made tea out of gunpowder.
They call it gunpowder because soldiers in the First World War used to carry it next to their gunpowder.
Ah, do I strike you as the particularly militant type?
No, you strike me as the particularly intelligent type. Therefore, any tidbit of information you might use sometimes.
Oh, I thought you were saying something about my personality. Like, you look like the kind of person who should be drinking trench tea. And she looks to make sure, like, Caldwell isn't, like, listening or, like, still in the room.
He's definitely not in the room.
Yeah.
And whether he's listening, that's another thing.
Um, Cammy's girlfriend is, like, Mr. Moonsong.
I see.
Yeah.
And so is this guy?
Not sure. Though, Cammy did once tell me that if people ain't acting scared of us, there's probably something up with them.
Doesn't strike me as a fairy.
I don't know. I've only seen the one.
And they're supposed to be all sparkly and joyful.
No fucking clue. I figure we'll figure this out sooner or later, though. I mean, honestly, the one Mr. Moonsong looked absolutely normal until he didn't, and then it was just all sorts of fucking marble and vines and creepy eyes and diamond teeth, and it was just, whew, it was a cold glass of water for your girl, I'll tell you that.
I think that we can look freaky too.
This freaky, and then there's just saying, it was unnatural.
And the 9 foot tall furry murder machine is natural.
As natural as they come, baby.
Depends who you ask.
Well, you ask any of us, it's perfectly natural, right?
I guess. So we should not speak openly about, he makes air quotes, work around him yet, should we?
Not unless we know what he is, or if he's like part of team assist us. Hence why you're my gym buddy.
Can hardly imagine why a tea maker would be useful in a sort of situation we find ourselves in, but maybe we need refreshments when we get back. You never know.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what any of them are going to bring to the table. That's why I want to vet them. Last thing I need is for us to have, like, our backs against the wall because of some fucking monsters, and at the same time have to defend their asses while protecting ourselves and, home.
We stick with our guys, they stick with theirs, everyone's safe. There's no need to put lives on the line if we don't have to.
Yeah. Maybe they'll be happier if they stay far, far away from the action.
There's hardly any action to speak of, at least initially. If they can't look or listen or keep their nose to the grindstone, what's the point in working with them?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what they do, what they are. I know they look freaky as hell, and I know Mr. Moonsong made a vase not break when he bounced it on the floor. I don't know how that will prove particularly useful on the battlefield, but they have an essence of something to them anyways.
Seems like a useless application for fairy dust, if you ask me, or whatever the fuck they call it.
I have no idea. I should probably ask Mr. Moonsong for a tutorial lesson on exactly what the fuck is the proper etiquette for dealing with his individuals. I mean, should we be bearing throat? Should we be, honestly, I don't know. What else should we be doing?
Do I strike you like the kind of guy who's gonna show throat to a fairy?
I don't know. Shira said that one of them was like taller than we get and blue.
Aren't they supposed to be really small?
I don't know. I'm telling you.
Surprise, surprise, Disney lied to us.
A little bit of information would be comforting in this certain time of like crises, but unfortunately, it does seem like those of the people who are negotiating this alliance like to keep us all in the fucking dark about each other.
I'm guessing there are a lot of things that they don't know about us.
I mean, quite possibly. Though it does seem that they know to avoid Central Park.
And if there's past a certain hour, it's just called common sense.
Yeah, but they avoid it at all hours. Somebody told them something's up. Not too comfortable with that, especially not knowing where they're lingering. Happened to run into one at a bar, happened to run into one at a scrapyard, and maybe one here. Who knows?
It's almost like you're going to search for them.
It's I mean, if we could get any sort of clue as to who the fuck they are, I don't know.
If your tea buddy over here gets any bright ideas, I'm guessing the two of us can take him out if push comes to shove.
But if we're supposed to be forming an alliance with them, do you think that would be a problem?
It's called self-defense. In case he decides to show us his fairiness in an aggressive manner.
Well, I can't say I exactly know what to expect. I thought, okay, so leaves and marble. And then Cammy tells me fox ears and a tail. Whatever the fuck that's all about.
You just hear this.
What is that, like the sound of a forehead?
Yeah.
Face palm?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they have tricks, maybe they have different kinds of them. Who knows?
Well, there's at least 3 varieties that we've heard of then. There's foxes, there's leaf heads, and blue things.
And potentially British creepers.
Yeah, I mean, provided that this is the face he's, like, his real face. And not something that he has to turn on and off, because I'll tell you something. Cammy's girlfriend didn't have any fucking ears when I was looking at her. I mean, she had ears, but not like ears. She says she like points to human ears, not and then pointy ears for a fox.
So let me just say, if I manage to follow you properly, you're telling me Cammy's girlfriend gets fox ears when she turns on?
Yeah, secret furries and all.
Боже мой.
Yeah, it's about this time Caldwell comes back, and he has a small pitcher of tea this time.
Mhm.
And a glass, like already pre-poured. And yeah, he comes in, he doesn't really look at either of you. Just kind of sets the drink in the pitcher in front of her.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he will just kind of go to sit down, and he will start drinking a cup of tea, kind of looking at you two, like in the picture here.
You all right over there? Did we do something to offend you?
No. No, I apologize. This is poor of me. So, this weather's strange, right? He tries to poorly turn the.
She just kind of does the like narrow her eyes a bit. Yeah, it's real shit. It's the worst thing I've ever fucking seen. she says, and just like angrily drinks at her tea. What do you think of the weather, Kolya? Are you fond of the weather, Kolya?
I'd be lying if I'd say I didn't like it. It's nice to have a cool breeze and a bit of break from sunshine once in a while.
I'd have to agree. I do appreciate the cool breeze of autumn.
Yeah, except it's still August.
Yeah, it's as if summer was just suddenly snatched away. It's kind of weird. Summer doesn't end until September 22nd this year. It's just kind of throw me off. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Take the sip of tea. It's fine.
I certainly hope so.
I said it's fine.
Right. he just kind of says definitively like, okay, it's gonna be fine. And then after a few seconds, he just says, wait, are you sure?
Yeah, it's great. Everything's gonna be peachy keen. Somebody's gonna fix things, right? Eventually.
You're gonna have to excuse Bailey. She was just...
I get real upset about climate change.
Yeah, I imagine Sam is probably flipping out right now.
And you've been working so... go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. You, please.
And you've been working so hard on your beach pod.
Are you talking back to Bailey or
to Bailey? Why would I say that to Caldwell?
Okay. No, like it's flippant in either direction, but it's a completely different kind of flippant if it's at Caldwell. Yeah. It's a fucking shame. Nobody's gonna get to see me in a bikini this year.
Yeah, I was really hoping to bust out that Speedo too, but never mind, that's just a horrible sight.
She just kind of looks at Caldwell for a moment, shakes away the mental image of this lanky guy in his Speedo. Thank you for bringing up beach bods, Kolya. What about you? Are you a one-piece or a two-piece kind of individual? You swim with a t-shirt on?
Was that at Kolya?
Yep.
Can't remember the last time I've been swimming.
Oh, you don't want to swim here. Water's contaminated.
It is rather disgusting, yes.
I guess that affects the taste of your tea.
Yeah, perhaps. I might have to look into seeing about fixing that. Maybe get some additional filters or something. Thank you for that, by the way.
You know, I can teach you how to make like a small water distillery. No reason to get a bunch of disposable fucking filters, you know?
I mean, he looks at her kind of thoughtfully. You would teach me that?
Yeah, I would rather people have something that's reusable as opposed to just generating a bunch of garbage.
What would you want in return for it?
You not buying a bunch of garbage? Look, you provide the scrap metal and I'll show you how to put it all together.
Will you show me what kind of metal you need? I'm assuming
Yeah.
pipes and stuff.
There's a scrapyard in Lower Manhattan. You come on by there, find me. We'll get the stuff together.
He kind of has like this small smile to his face, and he just nods quietly. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
And she nods.
I wonder if we can get some nice copper fittings. That'll go well in here.
I don't know if I see a whole lot of copper, but I mean, even if we're not working with recycled materials, it's still better than buying a bunch of junk every month.
That's true.
So, I mean, if you want something copper, buy copper.
No, I
It'll,
kind of like the idea of picking it up at the scrapyard. It'll be interesting to tell people that it's from the scrapyard or made from the scrapyard.
yeah. Make sure you also inform them that that it is cleaned thoroughly before being used for food making or water purification.
Maybe. Only the ones that really press. It might be interesting to see if whether they care or not about that.
I think the scent of rust really brings out the bouquet of this you just oolong.
Oh, I might have to add some sometime. Maybe try it, see what happens. No, it's a bad idea. Just kidding.
Maybe splash some cyanide or some arsenic in it while you're at it if you really want to kill your customers.
Oh no, that would be a terrible shame. And
Right, a
no,
little tetanus never killed nobody.
yeah, and I don't want to get in trouble with the law. It'd be a big mess. Mm.
So, how do you know Sam?
Sam, showed up randomly one evening. Actually, my opening night here. Um, it was actually kind of adorable in a sense. He came in whispering, trying to, I guess, what he thought was match the audience here. But ever since that night, he's been a regular here. I'm surprised he's not here tonight. Actually, he must be a late night at the office writing or something.
She looks to Nikki like I have no idea where he is. Sorry, Kolya. Sometimes I will remember. Most times I will not.
Was that IC or OC?
That was OOC.
It's on the fucking overlay.
And yet when I speak, my overlay usually pops up. So anyways.
Anyway, what was the question?
No, she's just kind of giving a look, because talking about Sam and like, oh, late night at the office. It's kind of like do you know anything? Should I be concerned? I know you don't, out of character, know anything, but it's, you know.
First of all, OC, I'm trying to figure out Sam who.
You haven't met Robbie's character. Yes, you have. He was on the mission. Robbie's character. The nerd.
I remember the names, not actual names.
The nerd. Yeah.
T-shirt ninja. Yeah, T-shirt ninja.
Yes, T-shirt ninja.
Yeah, and Kolya says I haven't seen Sam in a while either.
You know Sam as well?
Yep.
We're all gym buddies.
Right. Yeah, this is a small world here. Yeah. Everybody I seem to meet seems to know everybody else.
Yeah, it's strange how that fucking works, isn't it?
Yeah.
She says, looking at the camera. No, I'm
Slightly tapping at the fourth wall.
Why is everyone I meet supernatural, huh?
Hmm. He must have been. He doesn't seem like he is an avid gym goer. He must have just started.
Yeah, I'm a regular. Kolya here's a regular. Once in a while, Sam pops his head in and, I spot him or something. He's a nice kid, which is why we were at the bar together.
Mm.
Yeah. Most of the people that go
I
to our
need to roll manipulation subterfuge because that is like such a load of bullshit. I don't know. I don't know why I've decided to go off on this lie tangent. Let's see.
What is it? Perception? Empathy?
Yeah, perception,
Yeah.
empathy. Let's see. Manipulation and subterfuge. Good God, Ragabash, get good. One success.
Caldwell has 2.
All right. So yeah, you can tell Bailey's like pulling shit out of thin air and just like, no, because a couple of times we worked out together and it's all good. She's trying to weave a cohesive story. It's not that cohesive. Every werewolf goes to the gym.
To the same gym.
Right. We all are on first name basis. Yeah.
What gym do you guys go to?
The one over on Bleecker. I have no idea if there's a gym on Bleecker.
Interesting. I might have to go there sometime. I could definitely fill out some.
Yeah, go on Tuesdays. It's Pilates.
Kolya's just
I don't know why that's so funny to me, but I'm sorry. Okay.
Kolya's just staring at Bailey, just looking at her, saying, "How far is she taking this?"
Mm.
Ask her for the name, the number, or for the name of her trainer. She'll have to generate like random fucking numbers. Let's hope that works.
What exactly are Pilates?
It's like yoga except with more balls, I think.
That's why predominantly women may do them. Yeah, very ballsy.
Well, men get intimidated by the size of the balls, and so they don't want to participate.
Yeah, usually there's 2 types of people that do Pilates: women in the Russian army. It's so hardcore.
That's got to be why you were there when I met you there.
I don't do Pilates
I distinctly remember seeing you in my Pilates class.
because the trainer's hot.
Wait, which Pilates instructor? Are we talking Shaga or Mose?
I don't know. Take a guess.
Well, who knows? Maybe I'll catch you guys in a class or something sometime.
Quite possibly. I mean, we're there all the time.
I bet.
It's like some of us actually live there.
That's me, a regular old gym rat.
Man, it really sounds like just working out at the gym just takes up too much of your time. Seems like it would be boring.
It's very friendly. Stops being feeling like going to the gym and starts feeling more like hanging out with friends.
I guess that would be a thing. I guess it would have to help the time pass and create a competitive spirit between the group.
And keep in mind, you look like a smart businessman. Friends turn into customers. Friends have other friends. Friends of friends become customers. Customers become regulars. That's how you keep the money flowing.
That is true. You seem to be awfully experienced in such things. It's interesting.
I had jobs involving business management back home.
What kind of business did you run?
Not me personally, but my family had various provided various types of financial aid and consultancy.
Is it successful?
On a local level.
Any reason why you don't want to go big?
Let's just say I'm not exactly pride of the family, so I decided to try my luck here. By the way, feel free to roll for that because he's lying to you like a motherfucker.
Okie doke.
Actually, let's put that money sub to good use.
I only got one success.
I'm rolling 2 dice.
Oh Jesus! Come on, you're a Shadow Lord. Come on, man.
One success, defender wins. You don't see shit.
Huh. Interesting. I guess you could say I'm a little bit of the black sheep myself. Came over from England because of it.
Isn't New York supposed to be the city where the old dreams come true?
That's what they say.
I'd rather have to deal with the American dream than the Soviet one.
What is the Soviet dream?
For the party and the motherland.
Sounds fun.
Doesn't seem very fun.
And depends on the party line, depends on where the motherland is.
So you're not very patriotic when it comes to your homeland, I guess.
So, what makes you want to go see Russia?
To get away from here. To see something new. Maybe do a little bit of hiking. I think I have some old ancestors there or something. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
his turn to roll manipulation subterfuge because that is a fucking lie. Well, not really, sorta, but yeah. I'm assuming 3.
One, two, three,
One.
4.
So, man, I'm not usually used to rolling to lie.
Such an honest man.
Um, so, um, Bailey would pick up that the ancestors thing is not exactly, might not seem to be the full truth. And you
Kolya
got 3.
doesn't see shit.
Yeah, Kolya doesn't see anything. Excuse me.
Bailey
Um,
kind of tilts her head. You got something to be ashamed about as far as your family line goes, Mr. Caldwell?
um, no, not really.
It's just you kind of made a little bit of a funny face when you were talking about your ancestors. Is all.
Yes, I just it's a little heartbreaking. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to just doesn't seem to be very many of us anymore.
Russian Englishman?
Yeah.
She looks to Kolya. There are not very many Russian Englishmen.
I think he's the first one I've met.
Oh, well, then you are a rare breed.
Truth be told, I don't know everything I should probably know about my bloodline. Though I'm assuming many have immigrated from Russia to there.
Interesting choice of words. Your bloodline, are you noble or something?
Maybe a little too much of an old term, so to speak. Just my family, I guess I should say. Yeah, but I'm not royalty or anything like that. Far from it.
He's long lost Princess Anastasia.
One could hope, but I'm not. I wasn't born that lucky.
I appreciate you belittling the history of my country and the image of Grand Duchess Anastasia.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were a royalist.
I'm a lot of things that ends in. I'm a lot of things that end in ist.
She just kind of makes a face at that. Not a lot of nice things in an ist, Nikki.
Well,
Did
there's
anything?
loyalist. Is he loyal to you?
Who? This one?
Yes.
You loyal to me?
Have I ever betrayed your trust as your gym buddy?
Yeah.
So far, you have spotted me well. I'm just
It would be.
saying.
It would be rather inconvenient if a weight fell in, or the lifting bar fell in your neck or something when you were benching.
Yeah, it would be awfully inconvenient if a weight or a bar fell on my neck, or if you were to, turn tail and stop spotting me because somebody stronger walks in the room.
Are you attracted to stronger people, Kolya?
Nah, I like them scrawny, mouthy, and incapable of reminding themselves of a name as simple as mine.
Look, not a lot of people around here are called Kolya. Like, Nikki is everywhere in Jersey. Somebody's Nicole, then Nikki. Somebody's Nicholas, then Nikki. Somebody's Nick, then Nikki.
I'm not some Jersey skank.
Not yet. Slow around with me enough. Maybe I'll rub off on you.
You don't seem like that type either, though.
What, Jersey?
Well, excuse me. Guess I was putting more emphasis to the later term that he used in that sentence.
Oh, a skank.
Yes.
Nah, nobody's got time for that kind of shit around the gym.
Hmm. You guys are seem pretty serious at the gym then. You're there all the time. You don't like gym skanks, I guess. Hmm.
We care so much about physical activity that we have no time to fuck anyone, which is a bit ironic.
I have read that a sudden, well, constant exercise with weight loss or what like that does kill your libido.
Yeah, that's it. Our libidos are effectively dead. Dead on arrival. At least when it comes to looking at each other. Because we see each other in such interesting positions at all times. You know how it is.
Cammy's libido certainly doesn't look dead. Or seem to be dead.
Just kind of like, does the sort of like cringe when you talk about Cammy's libido.
Did I strike a nerve?
Cammy's like a sister to me. Thinking about her getting down and dirty is it's a little gross.
My apologies. Does she go to the gym a lot too?
Cammy?
Yes.
I mean, she works out once in a while, yeah.
She does seem like the homely type though.
Homely.
Like she likes to stay indoors, maybe play on the computer or something. A little bit like Sam in a sense.
Oh, maybe. I suppose she and Sam have some stuff in common.
We're open-minded people. We'll even allow nerds at our gym.
It's true.
Gets them out of the house.
Everyone needs a chance to improve themselves.
Let me see.
Yeah. We're all different types of gym animals. If you could see Bailey and me here being gym rats, you could think of Sam and Cammy more as Jim looks at Bailey. Cockroaches?
Yeah, gym roaches is, I think, a fairly appropriate term.
Ooh. I wonder what kind of animal I would be. Probably not. Well, probably a gym spider, I think. That sounds fun.
She like puts her hand so she like blocks her mouth from Caldwell's sight and mouths Kiefer to Kolya. Like, Some Weaver bullshit over here? What's going on? She's just mouthing it. She's not saying the words Weaver in
I
front
got
of
you.
him.
No problem.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll to get that? To see if I
Yeah.
get that?
Yeah, just
I'm guessing perception alertness.
yeah, sure.
It would be hilarious if I botch. What did I just say? Okay.
Did you botch?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Think of a dumb word that sounds like Weaver.
Retriever? Golden retriever? I don't know. Beaver?
Beaver. Yeah, Beaver would be a
Fuck
good
it.
one.
I'm gonna go with Beaver. Looks at what Bailey and says. Looks at Caldwell and says, "Oh, doesn't seem like He just twists his head and like scans Caldwell. No, I think Spider wouldn't fit that well, but it would definitely fit more than Beaver Bailey, honestly, now.
She gives Kolya a look like, are you stupid?
Did he say that out loud?
the beaver thing?
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't think I'd be a spider at all? He kind of looks at you like almost now, and he looks at you, and he's kind of just like blinking, and it's like you kind of like you kind of it stung a bit, like it's like wow.
You seem a bit too nice to be a spider.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I could see it in the timid nature, as some might interpret it as being spooky and arachnid in nature.
Hmm.
But I don't know. Depends on who you ask. Some people say spiders are tricksters.
Some do.
Some people say spiders are like the Black Widow, which in the most generous interpretation of the term would make them fans of one night stands.
Well, that's any kind of disqualifier. I'm not one for one night stands.
No. Yeah, you're too prim and proper to be a one night stand lover leaver kind of guy.
I thought you were going to get it over with Cammy's girlfriend.
We're all adults here. There's no point in beating around the bush.
No, that's literally what he said.
Alas, here I am, still a rose waiting for its petals to be plucked. I am. Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't happen.
Yeah, I'm sure we could find you a nice girl at the gym to pluck your petals.
Get you a real nice petal plucker.
Huh. Well,
You find the right girl, she's gonna shake your whole rose bush.
Yeah, he just goes really fucking red in the face. Yeah. That will certainly be something, especially if it's the first time. I will have to endeavor not to pollinate her stigma, I guess.
This rose metaphor has gone from like slightly awkward to like really rough, super graphic. Just, Bailey's just like pinching the bridge of her nose and shaking her head, like, dear Lord.
No, I appreciate the if you're even serious, I appreciate the thought, but no, thank you.
Wait, we weren't offering to shake your bush there, honey.
No, not I. I know not you in particular. Uh, just in case there was any seriousness there.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to be a friend to someone who actually managed to make me a good cup of tea. But yeah, if I'm not talking about either one of us, I don't bend that way, and I'm pretty sure Bailey's a lot more than you could handle.
Yeah, I'm feisty.
He just goes beat red in the face again as his cheeks go flush. Hmm.
Given your
True.
feisty nature, maybe you need an unplucked flower to temper you.
I don't know where I would keep flowers in the Winnebago. I have no place in which to tend a tender garden.
Maybe the thing your inner demon needs is a virgin sacrifice. You never know.
Cole starts just like rubbing the back of his neck, like, oh shit, like, what? Sacrifices? No.
You see Kolya developing a slight sly smile from his like neutral badass expression to a slight smile. It doesn't make him look happy, it makes him look human.
Yeah, Bailey looks amused by the conversations. Like, right. A virgin sacrifice to my inner demons. Cause that'll be fun. Showing him the ropes and everything for said sacrifice.
If only you guys could see behind the counter and all the knives and shit. Like, well then, that was the thing.
Not yet, it ain't.
Oh. All right.
She is laughing at the absurdity of, because he's like blushing a lot. It's like, yeah.
I swear one day I'm gonna get over this. I don't know why. It's such a thing with me.
Don't rush into anything or anyone. Just enjoy life while you can, that kind of thing. Everybody seems to be in such a hurry to pair off. Whatever happened to getting to know somebody first?
I know, right? Oh, I haven't really got to know anybody too deeply since I've been here so far, but
Of
yeah, I
course not.
totally
Your
agree.
petals haven't been plucked.
I mean, I do would like some water and sunshine, you know, before the plucking, you know, build me up and make sure I'm strong and confident.
Kolya just grabs his temples. If you're so young and have problems without water and sunshine, getting your petals ready for plucking.
I mean, there's just a certain romance to the whole courtship thing that I think is definitely something people could find much more satisfaction with their relationships these days, at least in my opinion. Everybody these days seem to be so apt to looking for somebody to spend the night with and stuff based on quick hookups that you can easily find on a phone or something. It's a little gross.
To each their own. Some people like to stick it into anything with a hold and a heartbeat. Some people like the whole classical romantic thing.
Mm.
My policy is don't fuck anyone unless you're sure you like them or you hate them. Because if you like them, you're going to want them to stick around. If you hate them, you know that that's the last thing you're ever going to fucking do with them.
I keep hearing about, I guess, hate sex or something. It's supposed to be pretty good, I guess. At least it makes it easier for you to get rid of them, I guess.
I mean, it isn't the preferred method, but
It depends what you stick it into.
what?
I'm gonna go in the kitchen and grab some more water. I'll be right back.
All right.
And he kind of just goes in there and he just he kind of just leans forward on the sink and just like keeps his hands there as he kind of just leans forward, just like, I need a break.
Jesus.
I swear,
Just-
if I keep this up for another 10 minutes, the poor guy is gonna explode.
Ew. I'm not cleaning up that mess, Kolya.
No, 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 no. Not the petals flying around kind of explosion, like the boom boom kind of explosion.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were attempting to like stoke the flames or something. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know your life.
So like after a minute goes by, he comes back and just looks between the two of you. How are you guys doing with your drinks? Do you want any more or?
Um, no, the iced tea is good. Thanks.
He just nods to Bailey and just looks to Kolya.
No, I'm good. We'll just finish this up. It's very good. Like I said, I need something stronger.
Yeah, I'll make sure to get working on that liquor license. Like everybody comes in here that wants liquor and tea. It's kind of maddening.
There are certain combinations that work with tea and alcohol. I'd be more concerned if people start asking you for coffee.
I've had gotten that as well, so I got a little bit of everything requested here. It's like people didn't think this was a tea shop or something.
Next thing, for what you're gonna ask for, they're gonna ask for dancers on the tables.
It seems like that would be an ill-advised choice considering that he largely serves hot tea.
Mm.
It might
What?
be a little.
You could have a hot girl next to your hot tea. What's wrong in that?
You're gonna end up with scalded titties, is what's wrong with that.
Well, to be honest, I have had a stripper in here before, so at least she, she kind of doubled as a stripper and a professional dancer.
Was she stripping in your tea shop?
No, though I'm pretty sure if I asked, she would have.
Oh. Um Well, congratulations. It sounds like you've got a primary candidate for your gardening needs.
Kolya just sticks his thumb in his mouth and goes,
No. That's just not my type. Yeah.
This is out of character laughing, by the way.
Yeah.
uh,
He's talking about Salome, by the way.
I think you should remember the one that idea about the hot chicks and hot drinks, you know, for the burning sensation in your throat and the burning sensation in your loins. Copyright that. Might be a good advertising slogan.
I'll put it right in the front of the window here at the tea shop. I'll even give you like some kind of small like recompense for it. Copyright or something like that. For using it.
Kolya looks at Billy. Shouldn't we be heading back to the gym? I think it's almost time for our evening training.
Yeah. Yoga, right? Hot yoga. I think that's what it is.
I'm getting ready to close the shop. Maybe I can join you two?
It's an advanced class. It might be a bit over your level.
I'm pretty flexible. I'm pretty sure I can show a lot of you up, actually.
Expert workout. I mean, if you're gonna do show and tell, please do show and tell. I would love to see some of your flexibility.
Do I need to step out here?
Nah, I mean, he obviously wants to impress the both of us.
I mean, I'd rather do it at your gym so I could kind of show everybody, I guess.
And I'm legitimately not curious about which parts of him are bendy and which of them aren't.
It's definitely not my loins. Well,
your loins are not flexible. He really gets off on his tea.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. It's probably best I don't.
Well, I mean, if you can't flex in front of the two of us, how are you going to flex in front of an entire class of expert yogis? Expert hot yogis.
Huh. Fine then. I guess I'll show you something. He kind of looks around, kind of like biting his thumb, like the nail of his thumb on his thumb. He's just like, what the fuck am I gonna get myself into? And yeah, he finds a spot, and it's kind of like out of the way, probably the walkway. Do I need to roll anything for this, Carol?
I mean, you can roll your dexterity unless you're using like your Sluagh gift of slither. It would be like dex athletics kind of thing. If you want to use your Sluagh gift, I as your ST, I'd be like, I don't know.
No, I mean he has double jointed, so
Okay.
He's an extra bendy Sluagh.
Yes. Well, the Sluagh have gotten stiffer over time.
Bad choice of words.
Deliberate choice of words. Thank you.
He's not going to use that ability.
Okay.
No. because I think you would have to use the weird for that, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I don't know my own stats. 2 successes. Diff 4 because of double jointed. So,
Mhm.
basically what he does is that you see him kind of like bend backwards and almost do a rather tight bridge where his hands come probably rather close to his feet before he kind of brings his legs kind of like up and over after his hands to where he kind of does like a semi headstand or yeah, handstand, and then um kind of plants his feet again um that way.
Why do you need a yoga class?
I just figure I could maybe get to know you guys better, I guess. Join in on your gym stuff.
The workout may be a little intense for you, but you can walk with us for a bit. You know, a gym's a little touchy if we bring people who haven't bought a membership.
How much is a membership?
Kolya, how much is a membership again?
It's usually like $30 a month. It's not that much, but you kind of need a recommendation and a bit of an evaluation from one of our looks at Bailey evaluators.
Well,
Bailey knows them better than I do, so I think she could point you in the right way.
Yeah. You know, it really works best if you know a guy who knows a guy. So,
well,
I
I
mean,
know you, and I know Sam. I know of Cammy that knows you. You know, I can make a whole tangled web of knows a guy if you wish.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm just gonna roll manip sub for that because Caldwell's just playing with you guys at this moment. 2 successes.
Let's see. Roll that perception empathy for that, I guess.
With my awesome 2 dice, I'm not even gonna attempt it.
Yeah, okay. How many did you get?
2.
2. And I've got 2. I think you're the defender.
Yeah, defender wins.
Yeah. So Bailey still thinks you're serious.
You know what? He just raises his hand. No, don't worry about it. I get it. I'm used to it. Don't worry about it. Forget I said anything.
You're used to gym memberships being elitist?
No, you just don't want me around, and I get that.
And she gives Kolya a look like, I didn't mean to hurt the boy's feelings.
He actually doesn't seem hurt by it, actually, whatsoever. He almost states it as if it's just a matter of life, of, fact.
I'll tell you what, how about as a counter offer, you know, getting to know each other better, you can come running with us at some point. That's a great way to get to know us, and we can see if you have a good personality match for the gym membership.
I
We
really
wouldn't
hate
want you to
running.
shell out hard-earned cash for something that you wouldn't enjoy after all.
I'd rather do the yoga than run, but if you insist, sure.
I do insist.
Okay. As long as you're serious about it, though.
I am serious about everything I have ever said.
I think that's a lie.
Okay, admittedly, I have been prone to quite a bit of nonsense in my day, but I am serious that we'll go running.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to it. Do you promise?
Pinky swear, she says as she holds out her pinky.
And he holds out his.
She'll give him like the pinky swear to his deflated balloon finger.
Popped balloon swear.
I'm gonna hold you to it, by the way.
Kolya reaches into his the pockets of his pants. So how much do we owe you for the tea?
Kind of looks around. You guys have been most entertaining. And it's your first time here. There's a coupon in the paper for new customers. We'll call us square.
All right, then I'll see you bright and early for running, and we can negotiate where you want your water distillery put in your tea shop.
Sure. We can run to the, I guess the scrapyard.
It's all the way over in Manhattan, hun.
No, I'm good for it if you are.
All right. Well, then I'll see you bright and early, Mr. Caldwell.
Just Caldwell, please.
Right. Well, I'll see you bright and early, Caldwell, please. All right.
And yeah, he follows on the heels of Bailey. Like a shadow, like her own shadow would, in a sense. It's really he's really in your personal space. But when he opens the door for her and just gives her a quiet wave and kind of just turns and looks to Kolya, waiting for him to probably do much of the same.
Kolya's gonna extend his hand as he leaves.
What is he gonna do?
Extend his hand because
Oh, yeah.
you shake to say goodbye.
Yeah, and Caldwell will give a shake of his hand in return. It was a pleasure meeting you, Kolya. I hope to see you again soon.
When tea does good, it's not gonna be long till you see me here again.
I look forward to that our next meeting. Do take care. And I'll be seeing you soon.
Nods. Follows Bailey. Either this guy has the most popular tea shop in New York, or he loves a lot of us.
Yeah. It's uncanny how many of us he knows and doesn't seem to be particularly terrified of any of us.
Well, depends who exactly came here. Most of us can deal with humans without standing out that much.
I know my people can, but
Mine can pretty well too.
still, generally, our just under the surface anger issues tend to be off-putting for others.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It was me, Cammy, and Sam. It was him, Cammy's little girlfriend, and Soggy Girl. Smelled like the beach. None of them seemed scared. All of them were being a little flippant about Mr. Moonsong. And I don't know. I think he might be either something or onto something. And I don't know exactly how to press for this information. I know if somebody just came out and asked us, "Hey, do you have a gym membership?" Because they're out on the streets. If somebody asked me, "Hey, do you have a gym membership?" I'd probably sock them in the mouth, you know?
You said Cammy's girlfriend is one of them, right?
Yeah.
Why don't you just ask her?
I don't really know her all that well. I'm a little more on a personal conversation level with Moonsong, if I'm being perfectly honest.
You could ask Cammy to do it for you. You are in the same
Pack.
classes.
Yeah, group of friends.
In the same classes.
Classes. Straining the metaphor here.
Hey, you came up with it, deal with it.
Yeah. Cammy and I run together. But
Or from each other.
well, only if she's got company. I don't need to see any of that. But
I'm guessing between a fox and a she-wolf, there's a lot of fur involved.
ugh.
Too graphic for you?
Far too graphic for me, Nikki.
You're welcome. Trash can.
Oh, period stain.
He looks at you like you just spat into his face.
You called her trash can. It's thrash can.
Okay, that's the player's fault because the character would not no legitimately no that's my
Okay.
my fault. No, he wouldn't say it wrong.
Okay. Then she'll just continue saying Nikki. Nikki. But
I was wondering how much the wonder of you calling me Kolya is gonna last.
well, I will do my best to remember since it offends you so significantly. Why didn't
Just
you say something earlier?
like I said, you're smart. I expected you to catch on at some point.
Look, some people have a bunch of different nicknames and they're not offended by any of them. If you're specifically offended by one over the other, then you should have been like, no, I don't like being called Nikki. I prefer being called Nikolai or Kolya or in formal company.
Anyhow, we should be getting back.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I have to do evening rounds.
I can put in a couple hours as well, I suppose. You know, keep eyes on things.
Any news about anything else? Anything else I should be aware of?
Did you hear about my promotion?
Yep.
Yeah.
You have my deepest condolences.
I appreciate that. And I mean, not to undersell my own capabilities and nothing, but how the fuck did we get here? Where someone of my station has such an important promotion.
Like I told you, if you start doing other people's job, at some point you're gonna get noticed by people higher up on the food chain.
Look, if I don't do the job, it don't get done, and I would
That doesn't necessarily mean that you're the one who has to do it. We've got enough departments and enough people, so you don't have to do everything.
Yeah. Should really talk to HR about all of this, right?
Hey, you know what they say, no good deed goes unpunished.
Oh, this is fucked. This is so fucked. She's doing like the stress laugh, by the way. It's not like a ha ha ha, ha this is funny. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get someone fucking killed.
But no, all jokes aside, no, it's unaccustomary from someone in your department to get that position.
I mean, not to be disrespectful, but no shit, Sherlock.
But I still you could I still think you could fit it and do the
Thanks.
position justice.
Thanks. I'll remember that as I'm losing sleep because I'm terrified of ending up putting someone where they shouldn't be or something.
If it makes you feel like if it gives you more comfort when you put your head down to sleep tonight, you know how to perform certain actions if you happen to be abruptly demoted.
Oh, what kind of actions are we talking about here?
Leans in close and like starts whispering. Says, "You can perform a gathering of for the departed in case it goes really bad."
Thanks. And I'll keep that in mind. Ugh. The rounds it is. And I guess we can end the scene there.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.